I'm your host, Ken Patterson. We are at the 13th annual St. Louis Prototype Modelers Meet. I'm doing an outdoor photo shoot. We're going to talk about this table saw. That's absolutely magnificent. This is the best hobby in the world.
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat starts now.
Catch the What's Neat podcast every week and full episodes of What's Neat every month at the Model Railroad Hobbyist YouTube page.
Probably.
Yeah.
Here, Dad, let me hear you talk.
Check. 1, 2.
He's good. Mike?
1, 2.
Okay, how do I sound?
Neal.
I'm here.
Okay, it's perfect. Ready, set, shortest start we ever had, right? Why drag it out when this
All
is going to be
Here we go.
so much fun to do?
I love this job.
It just,
I just wish I got paid for it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's better. Oh,
Richard, give us a countdown.
You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 277 for June 8th, 2024. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and I am distracted. Wow.
Austin Allard's in the house.
Yes,
Yep.
he is.
Always know when he is.
That's
so.
always a distraction.
No, I know,
Yep.
but my dad's wife, Jenny's looking at me, and she's just always so cute. So yeah, rock and roll. I am seriously distracted. Tonight we've got a great cast of folks on the show. As you can see, a lot of wonderful people sitting around me. I've got on this side Ken Bird, otherwise known as my father. Hi, Ken.
Hello. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you.
We
Actually,
love when you
you told
come.
me you were going to be here, so
That's
yeah.
right.
I'm glad.
That's
I'm
how
glad you are.
Dad's work. I'm going to be there.
Right next to me, I've got Mike Buddy.
Hi, everybody.
Mike. On the other side next to me, I have America's next favorite chef, Joshua Barton.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I know, right? I love the energy. Sitting right next to my favorite chef is James Regier.
Hi, everybody.
Have you tasted the salmon?
That's right.
Yep.
That's a year-and-a-half old joke, and I forgot what it was.
Yep.
4
Sitting
years
right-
old. It was during the pandemic.
Okay, sitting right next to James Regier, we have a very special guest.
The one, the only.
Neal Multz from East Coast Circuits.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Look at all this neat stuff on the table. I'm just mesmerized by all
Oh, I
of
thought
it.
you were I thought you were leading now, because I mean the fact is, Neal is making some new announcements tonight that the world has not seen.
I mean,
That's why we watch this show.
I know.
Yep.
Yes.
For those of you who are distracted by flashing objects,
Yeah, me.
we've got your attention.
That's right.
We own your attention.
Okay, Neal. You know what? I could talk about the Garden Railroad. I could talk about
No,
dusting.
no. Let's let
I
Neal
could talk about
talk.
the fact that the August What's Neat isn't even started yet, and it's due in
Look at
5
that.
days. But rather than that, let's hear about this.
All right. So what we've got here, and we introduced it at the
August National Train Show, which you guys attended, we came out with the Arrow Stick, and we got some feedback, and people said, hey, why don't you put it on a truck, which was the truck you see here.
Yeah.
So we did,
Yeah.
and it's got 7 different lighting functions. We've got it off. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th one's off. Now, what's nice about it is that if you power down your railroad and turn it back on again, it remembers the last circuit that you had lit up. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see you've got the lights here, you've got headlights, taillights, hazards, and then we said, actually Sam said, we've got to do it in yellow because we've seen so many of them on the streets. So
Yeah.
we did it in
Yeah.
yellow, and we add the wheelbarrows to them, and it's just a real nice touch to them. It's very prototypical.
Yeah.
And then about 2 months ago, maybe a little bit less, Sam stumbled on some Die-Cast Masters HO scale backhoes. And this is the Cat 450E, and he put some lights on the front, put yellow hazards on the front here, and then he put some on the back as well, pardon my fingers. And then he put the strobe on the top.
That's
So,
neat.
These are limited, we've got them on the site now. These are on the site, and the backhoe's on the site, and when they're gone, they're gone. So those are pretty good. A lot of people like construction. I mean, everybody likes the flashing lights. They like the police, they like the fire, which we've had on the show many times.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit more variety for your railroad.
I know a few of us have some of the CAT construction
We
stuff.
do,
so
but
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lighting as much.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, certain vehicles, that are made, we can light up. Others we can't. Like to do it. I said, why don't you do a rail tractor? You can't because it just works off the on the railroad or whatever.
Right.
This is nice.
Right. You have to
All
have
right.
that wiring source underneath the
Absolutely,
layout.
yes.
Yeah.
So the next set of new items, these we just put them on the site this week. Okay, we're going to be taking pre-orders shortly. Walters came out with the long life vehicles, or what they abbreviate as LLV, and they came out with 2 versions that we're going to model. The first one here is from the 1980s, and this here is 1993 to present. So the difference is back on the taillights, where the hazards are. In the 1980s, you could see it's got the hazard lights go in and out, whereas on the 1993 to present, it's got the strobe lights.
That's
And
neat.
these are going to
That's
be
very
available
cool.
for purchase probably in the late summer, both versions. When you get it, they'll be ready to go. All you have to do is add on the mirrors because they're very delicate, and if we try to ship them with on there, we don't want anything to break. So the customer just has to add that on.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Next up there, we've got some UPS delivery trucks. The one on this here is the modern version, as it's called. These again by Walters. And this one here is the bow tie version. You can see the headlights, tail lights, your hazards, all the lights on the top. Got hazards in the front too.
Those are so
Yeah, those are neat.
They're on the site. We haven't announced the price on them yet, or the availability. I would probably say holiday, if not 2025. And the last minute, Sam says, well, we've got to have some police back on the show. So Walters came out with the Morgan Olson vans, and we decided to take the police vehicle and light that one up.
Boy, did you ever.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's
that is
neat.
Wow.
Yeah. They came out real nice. This one's not on the site yet. It'll be on the site probably toward the end of the year. But that one came out nice. I mean, I see what you brought over there.
Yeah, right. You did these for me about a year ago. And these are Rapido Caprices.
Nice.
And my era is around 1980, before the LED strobe lights. This is when they still had the revolving lights.
Yeah.
You guys were able
That
to
captured the effect very
yeah.
nicely.
I mean, it really gives that effect really nice. And then the alternating flashing headlights and taillights, and so
Wow, yeah.
that is
this
neat.
is a very cool little diorama for part
And they're
of the
just
layout.
red, like they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Remember? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Remember the little circle, the little.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one light in the middle.
Yeah,
on
you've
the
seen
side.
some of those
Yeah.
in
That
your
was like the
rear
bubble
view
gum
mirror, I'm sure.
light.
Oh yeah.
No, it's depending
Yeah.
on your municipality.
Yes.
You know,
So
Yes.
I remember
Yeah.
always seeing the red and blue.
Yeah.
yeah, these are decorated for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. I had
Oh, that's right. You put the
made
decals on
for,
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second District, South St. Louis, and
Gosh, that's my district.
This is such a cool. It's such a great way to add animation. And while you were explaining the mail trucks, I remained quiet. But when I first saw those tonight, I was amazed.
Yeah.
First, I actually haven't paid attention that Walthers came out with that truck. But second, it looks just like the lady out here on the street.
It sure does.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you
Exactly.
order one of these vehicles
Yeah.
and you specify U.S. posted shipment, your vehicle could deliver itself.
Right.
Yeah,
Ooh,
there
look
you
at
go.
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Be smart.
I
Free
actually
shipping?
saw something.
No, scale shipping.
Scale
shipping.
shipping. Yeah.
What's really nice about a product like this, you don't have to buy a dozen of them. You can take one or two on your layout. If you don't have a big cityscape, you got a highway. You can put them on
Yeah,
and really
right.
add
Absolutely,
interest
yeah.
and action to the layout.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's great.
Just add a little human story to it.
That's
Someone
right.
getting
Yeah.
some model railroader getting a parcel in the mail.
Yeah.
Or a model railroad getting pulled over.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh God, the paperwork.
Yeah.
So
I think you struck a nerve there.
All right, so
I wanna hear about
yeah,
those.
Yeah, yep.
Yep, that's right. moving right
The
along,
light
sir.
towers.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one of our first 3D printed projects. It's all made in the USA. These are the called HO-scale portable light towers, just like you would see on a highway or on in a construction area. We've done this in the police and the fire. We've got the yellow, orange, and we're coming out with the green as well. And I'm going to just move up here a little bit. So the poles, you can rotate them into whatever position you'd like.
Okay.
Depending on your scene and how you want to set it up and everything.
Dan, do me a favor. Will you kill the lights there, the first light switch? Just turn it off.
This right here?
Yeah. Now, Richard, shoot this table. Shoot this. Can you get that shot of all the flashing lights and stuff? I mean, is that cool on video? In the dark? And look how much
Yep.
light these towers put out.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah.
You could read by them.
Yeah.
Well, you could certainly
almost.
light a scene with it, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
Well,
I
all
guess
work
that's
on-
what it's
yeah,
for.
They work on 9 to 12 volt DC, just like all of our vehicles.
Well, that's what I like about installing LEDs on locomotives and stuff like that. You can make it bright enough that they really do light the track ahead of the locomotive very nicely.
Right.
You want the lights back?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a yellow, a red,
All right,
and
I'll-
a green one.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
a yellow, an orange, and the green, and then we have the police and the fire.
Yeah.
On the heads, there's 16 LEDs on there, so it does give off a lot of light
Yeah.
and everything. And you can just position it any way you like. It's got the outriggers attached. They come separately, and you could attach them. And then it's very easy to put the pole on and the lights. It's all
I like
If,
the way
if
you
I
have
remember,
the
if I
wire.
remember correctly, Campbell had a Lowe's storefront, didn't he? So he'll want one for his layout. He'd done one of those.
Well, the thing about these
but you'd
are-
have one in the Lowe's parking lot now.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do,
Well,
yeah.
if you put it in the darkest place or a very dark place, it'll give more ambiance and throw to that area.
Right. What are you going to say,
Yeah.
Mike?
The way the wires are actually coiled, like.
Oh, they
on-
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got the
I
wrong
mean, that's
glasses on.
It's an
Those are
extra
very
bit of
cool.
detail, but
Yes.
it's functional.
Yeah.
It's like the real
Right.
thing.
Exactly.
Neal. Neal.
That is
Neal,
so
Neal.
awesome.
Look at
That's
Don't look at me. You got Sam and the crew
Sam,
up,
yeah.
up in Rhode Island.
That's
those,
really-
those are the guys that do it.
Are you
know.
guys coming to St. Louis this summer?
Not this summer, no. We're going to be doing Train Fest in November.
Oh, they're having that again. Is that in
Yes.
Milwaukee?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's in Milwaukee.
Oh,
It's
okay.
I think the 24th of November.
go to Train
It's the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So we'll
Okay.
be at that show.
All right,
But-
great.
I'll tell
Is it-
you,
Oh, go ahead.
Neil, you guys at East Coast Circuits, every time I look, you guys are coming out with the newest and the biggest and the best, and you're always wanting to advance. It's just,
Thank you.
It's breathtaking how much you guys have
His
accomplished.
display lights up. Remember the old
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
the police
Yeah.
cars,
Oh,
on
yeah.
the
Right.
stair-step diorama.
With
Yeah.
the mirror on
Yeah.
the back.
Oh, yeah.
What
that
that
was-
it draws your attention,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
then it's like, this reminds me of the old days. Not the old days, Dad. This reminds me of. Stop. Stop. Hold. This reminds me of GRS. Remember when GRS lighting systems came out and they were the little micro bulbs? This might have been 1988.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those, I still have a
1988.
whole bunch of those little bulbs.
Right? And we
Yeah.
would light up the inside of an engine house or a storefront, and
Right.
it looked so cool. In fact, I think they were trying to light up vehicles with them. We lit up a
Yeah.
microengineering truck with them.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the LED technology is so much more intense. Plus, I got to tell you what, I remember replacing a lot of GRS bulbs,
Yeah.
Because they do
'cause
burn
were
out.
Yeah, they
incandescent
don't
bulbs,
last.
Yeah.
right? And so what we would do is we would build our models, so it was easier to get the bulbs out of the models. We knew
Right.
going in
You had to
that-
plan ahead.
Correct.
Yes.
So that was helpful.
One-
But with these LEDs, that kind of has been eliminated.
Right.
When they
Yeah.
really approach, like the lights themselves or the LEDs themselves, actually approach scale light bulb sizes, which is neat.
Right.
And the wiring themselves. What I was going to say is, when I was building that garage, I had a trouble light that I put in underneath a car that a mechanic was working on.
Yeah.
And
That's a neat
rather
detail.
than hiding the wire, I noticed that
Yeah.
it was, if you twist them together, it was
Just
an
like a
extension
cord.
cord,
Yeah.
Right.
and so you could hide it in plain sight. And so it's really neat that that's possible.
Yeah.
And like you said, Mike, the coil, the wire wrapped around the
Right.
pole.
Yeah.
it's very prototypical.
And then
Yeah.
then when they retract, it's like a telephone cord, the old telephone. It just
Yeah.
it just winds
Yeah.
itself
And
up.
we'll be coming out with a stowed away version as well, sometime in 2025. Yeah, it'll look
Yeah,
really
those
nice.
are
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Now what about these signals? Those
Yeah,
are
I'm
3D
interested
printed?
in those.
Those are 3D printed.
Yeah.
They're made, painted, and assembled in the U.S., just like the light towers.
Now, are those Pennsylvania Railroad?
Those are
That's what
Pennsylvania
I thought.
Railroad.
Yeah.
So the one on the
Position
on
lights.
my left, position lights. That's what we call the single head. The one in the middle, that's a dwarf signal, and the one on the right is the dual head with the clipped ends on the lower signal. We introduced them at the National Train Show in Grapevine, and we got a lot of responses. We got people liked them. We got some nice orders, and I was approached at the show by the Pennsylvania Railroad Historical Society. They liked it. They actually put it in their magazine, and then I just sent the images. Richard, you would like it, to the Long Island Railroad Historical Society out in Long Island.
Yeah, they
so
use
so
them.
they're
Oh, okay.
getting them
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And again, it's all 9 to 12 volt DC.
And you can change the position.
Yes. So right
Right.
now, what you're looking at, we just made a little circuit. What we recommend is our friends over at Azatrax. They make circuits that'll work our signals.
Okay.
John, he's really good with all of his electronics there. Yeah, they came out really nice. We do have other signals coming out down the road. I can't let the cat out of the bag with everything.
No, this is good.
But
No.
that's our first shot. There's been a void for
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
a couple of companies they went out of business or they just stopped producing things, and Sam put his head into this and said, okay, we've got to come out with some signals, and that's what he did. The guys up there, they did a great job, and we just got some inquiries this weekend about the Pennsy signals. And then we got and what's very interesting is a lot of people when they see these signals of the vehicles in the magazines. We had a guy wrote us a letter, and he was looking for the Norfolk and Western signals. And he says, well, maybe you can, make them for us. He said, reach out to the, Technical and Historical Society. I mean, there's so many different signals out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Between,
Right. Every railroad had their own.
The
Mhm.
B&O had signals of their own, with the colored aspects on them.
Sure.
Actually, Amtrak still uses them on the Northeast Corridor. I know near me in New Jersey that they use them with the colored aspects as well.
I'd like to see a train order signal for a station that's lit up when you're
Yeah.
down for orders and it's lit up.
Now, a friend of mine said that he'd learned about little tiny step motors that were just about small enough to fit into a signal mast.
Wow.
And so
would
he
be
was
fantastic.
going to try
is
and
a step motor coreless, or is that how does that work?
I think it's just a motor that you can control, the direction that it's going and
That's right,
sort of the
yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if you hook it up to the right controller, then
Wow.
you can probably get that signal position, and you don't have to worry about actuating rods or any of that because it's all up there in the signal mast.
Wow. Just like the prototype.
Yes,
But-
signals, crossing gates, that's a whole other subject. Hell,
Yeah.
we talked about crossing gates last night at the dinner table. In fact, George is doing
Yeah.
a video on crossing gates.
Yes.
And I think you're helping him with that.
Yeah, we
Thank
made
you.
we made a circuit for George. He's got a road scene that he was working on.
Yes.
And he's working on the gates. He is working with someone else on the logic, but we made the circuit to control the flashing lights from because it's not your typical two-track circuit. So we designed the circuit, and he says he's going to have it ready shortly so you can put it on the show.
Nice.
Give
That's
it a
awesome.
call.
Now, whose signal base kit was he using?
I don't know.
Maybe
What was in? No, it wasn't Tomar. I think he may be using. There was a set of crossing gates at the Springfield show. There was some guy walking around with it.
Was
they
it
were
Showcase Miniatures, maybe?
No, it wasn't it.
No.
They looked pretty good. I know
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
We looked at it. And I think Sam may have picked up one.
It would be so awesome if it
Yeah.
was just something that I could just drop in my layout, wire it up. I know it is impossible because you still got to have the
You still have to-
approach. Oh, that pencil's from Neal Multz, by
I
the
know.
way. It says,
Thank-
what's
thank you,
neat
Neal.
this week?
I'm in
So
fear.
you just got stabbed by what's
I'm in
neat
fear
this
for my
week.
life every show.
I'm sorry.
So the point is, if there was simply a drop-in type of a simplification of that process of crossing gates, I think we'd see more of those on layouts.
I agree.
Well, the thing is, if someone comes out with the crossbucks,
Right.
the crossing gates and everything, and the combination, then you could do it. But again, it depends on the scene on your railroad. I mean, if you have an island that's a two-lane highway, that's one thing. But if depending on what your approach is,
And
That's true.
and then
Sure.
depending on the thickness of your base, because you have to get that
That's
probably the
another
single
issue.
Well,
most
like
difficult
the
part
year,
for me
too,
was
I mean,
getting that actuator rod
you
in
know.
place, and
Yeah.
then
Is that a whole nother show, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to see
yeah.
George's video. George, we can't wait
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
George
But-
Bogatuk.
Yeah.
He's in the What's Neat video that's running right now on part 2 and how he made his roads and his.
Yeah.
And-
He might be in the next one if you get it finished.
Okay.
and the other challenge is getting the actuator rod itself, because after so many ups and downs, metal fatigue sets in, and I actually had that part give out on a signal that I'd built
Just
after
use an
a couple
Arduino.
years.
That'll fix anything.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, it was
Some
with an
people
Arduino.
in the
yeah.
past used tortoise machines.
Well, yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's
You
true.
know.
Like us,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And that works.
Yes, it does.
Once
you
it's
know.
calibrated and everything's balanced, that works beautifully.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. So
Yeah.
my father's here. Hi,
He
Dad.
is? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's you. You're that guy on What's Neat. We've seen you
I've
on that
seen you.
show.
Yeah, once in a while
Yeah.
I slip in. Yeah. I slip out,
And so because of that, I don't know why, Mike, us youngsters in the room, decided that we were going to bring our oldest trains that we have.
Yeah, you have some real
Well-
junk. I mean, old trains there.
Well, Mike,
Oh,
you brought Lionel,
Right.
HO scale, which I didn't even, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know how long it lasted. That's from 1964.
Okay.
And that's my first HO scale train. I had
Yeah.
a Lionel O gauge, which I almost brought, but
That's in
I
good
decided
shape.
to bring that. Well, I cleaned it all up. It looked pretty rough.
it looks great
It
compared to
doesn't-
what I've seen of some of the old Lionels.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
good.
very true.
It
Yeah.
just kind of goes,
It's nice.
when I put it on
That's
the track.
kind of the way I am.
Yeah, I don't even go that fast.
All right.
But yeah, that's the first HO scale locomotive I got.
All right, Doc.
So
That'd be a
Dr.
fun
Ken Patterson here. I've got a Northwest short line quartering jig, Dad. I can fix that. I can fix that. It's a simple thing, right? All right, so steam engine. That's the first steam engine
That
I've
is-
ever had.
A Tyco.
And you actually bought that for me back in 1973, I think it was. And that came with our Sears and Roebuck. The picture was hanging up in the kitchen on the bulletin board, and every Sunday we ate chocolate donuts and milk right before church, and I stared at that picture for weeks, and here it is. Brand spanking new off the shelf, the Tyco.
Does it Run it all.
Union. It's been through a 4x8 layout.
Yeah, it looks like it's.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it have wheels still?
It still probably would run. It's got a motor in it. Of course it does. It's just, it needs some love.
That actually has a prototype.
This is
doesn't
the
it?
prototype.
I'm just
Right.
I'm just noticing how
I
many.
don't know if mine does. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, in 1971, my father had a railroad on Connecticut Street in South St. Louis City, and I was probably 6 years old. And this was one of the engines off of his layout, and I don't know why I have it. I found it in a cigar box tonight, right before the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
luck.
it's Mine Lamont Railroad, which was my father's private name railroad.
still
so,
is,
So
by
this
the
is
way.
my dad's Gory and Defeated, right here.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly,
Mine
right.
Lamont. That's
Probably
down by
no
Fredericktown,
doubt
isn't it?
inspired
Mine
by
Lamont, yeah, Mine Lamont is where my grandfather on my mother's side was the engineer in the powerhouse at the mines down there.
Oh, okay.
He worked there from about 1900 to till he moved to St. Louis in the 1930s.
Wow.
When they closed the mines, and he used to tell me a lot of interesting tales about how industrial safety was not there back in those days, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, the Mine Lamont had a railroad that ran out to the Missouri Pacific Belmont branch, that ran north and south through Fredericksburg. That's been abandoned now. 50 years ago, I think, when they took that.
Now, there's pictures of this in that thumbnail thing I got that you sent me a few years back, right? So I'm probably showing
Yeah.
pictures of this. Is that the railroad that had the sand? I remember a lot of
That's
sand.
right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm probably showing pictures
Some
while
of
you're talking
those,
about
yeah.
it. If not, I'm showing them now. But yeah, Dad shot this railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, come on, you were a rail fan. You were. I mean, I got pictures of me standing on railroad ties down at Gratiot Tower, where Gratiot Tower is. There's
Used
a
to
shot
be.
that I run
Yeah,
in that video.
right.
I mean, you are the reason why I modeled trains. I think part of it was that, you know, life changes and life things happen and this and that. And I think what trains were to me was my ability to reach back to you.
Wow.
Awesome.
It's nice. Very nice.
We're both going to cry.
All right, now we're going to edit.
Oh, you'll edit for that, but you won't edit for me following my...
Because that was hilarious.
So, James, I see you have some buildings here. Let's talk about your new 3D modeling projects. What do you got going on, sir?
Well, so this is the building I had last time, and it's about 2 to 3 times as large.
Nice. You had a green one like that. Did that
Yeah.
go into the...
That's been installed at the Magic House now.
Okay,
So
very cool, very cool.
yeah, this is the so it's doing its duty there.
Nice.
This is another building that I've made to replace the Gomez General Store, which also fell into hard
That's
times on the way
super
out
heavy.
Yeah.
there. And
There's a tile roof under it.
yeah, so
The
for
metal
this,
tile
Oh, you
roof
got to
is
show
in
him
there.
that.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So that's unpainted. That
I'll
was
B-roll it, Richard.
Dang, man.
that was a
that's
very
awesome.
rough.
That is cool, James.
Yeah, that was the first print. This one, like I basically designed the building based off of a building from my hometown. That's now a hardware store. Originated sometime around 1900, I guess,
look, he's got it
as a buggy shop.
I know, that's cool as hell. We already
And-
talked about how Mike Buddy, I just cussed. We talked about how Mike Buddy would have done that too, in that you would have been punching out panels of aluminum. You
Yeah.
would have pre-weathered them before you put them in, if it's going to be that old looking.
Right.
And you would have peeled a few down. Because he made the tile floor in a building that he showed us, black
Yeah.
and white
You-
tile.
You
Yeah.
see that in copper a lot in St. Louis,
Yes,
right?
you
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
It's
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure is.
It's
I
so
suggested
Exactly.
that he should offer that slab or a sheet of those. Just,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
The only problem is, as you see on this building right now, it's got some warpage issues,
Yeah.
and that I need to overcome. And that's
We're all warped in our own
Yeah.
way.
oh yes, but that's a
I love
characteristic.
him on the show.
Yeah.
Isn't he great? He's always just right there.
Keep going.
Well, it's a characteristic of sort of thin resin that it tends to want to warp a bit. And sorry about that. But the solution that I found is to put it in the convection oven at about 170 degrees, and that'll get it flexible again, and then you can just weight it down. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to last that well, so I'm looking for other solutions.
Almost like it has a memory.
Yeah.
From when it was.
Yeah. So, but this was designed after a harness shop in my hometown. The original building was actually about twice as wide as this, or maybe 1.5 times as wide as this. It was a double front, and so on the one side was where they had their showroom for all the carriages and wagons and that sort of thing, and then on this side of the building was where they had their hardware store and their various parts dealerships, and I think they had affiliations with International Harvester and Case at one time. But they were a pretty major fair, and they're still in existence as Hardware Haven. So you can look that up on Google Maps. That
What
was the
railroad ran
inspiration.
through the town?
Missouri Pacific.
That was the old
Old
It's
Mopac.
gone now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that was the
remember
old
that,
line
yeah.
from Wichita to Colorado.
Right.
It's still there. It's now operated by Watco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sees about one train each direction a day. So it's still
Yeah, it's better than some model
sees
railroads
frequent
I
use.
built. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
yeah.
Yeah, mine hasn't seen a train in years.
But I think its primary customers right now, if I remember from what Perry Lambert was telling me, it's
Perry's working for Watco, doesn't he?
yes,
Isn't
that's
he?
right, that's right,
Yeah.
and he's an engineer on that line,
Right.
in fact. But their major customers are a terminal elevator, sort of between two towns west of Hutchinson. And then there's also an ethanol plant, which draws quite a lot of traffic. But he says that the two-train frequency is all the way up to the Colorado line, so it's plenty busy.
Very cool.
Very neat.
Yeah.
This is a fun show tonight.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like informal. We're just sort of hanging out.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I watched show number 1 last week, and I watched show number 3 and number 8 where the electric went off.
Yeah.
Number 8, that was great. We should set up that single microphone and that little simple.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember we used to sit on milk crates and
Yeah.
and boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Let's-
should just go
let's
back
ta-
to our roots and shoot a show like
tape
that.
a show on the patio like that.
Let's go to your house and tape a show in your basement.
Okay.
Let's bring the Zoom.
Yeah.
Let's move around a little bit. Let's show some other stuff. I'm sure they're tired of looking at. I got to dust all this stuff. Did I mention that?
Yes, you
No, you guys told me I couldn't
Yeah.
talk about that tonight. That's what's so fun about this show. There's no show notes tonight. See?
Okay, folks, get your remotes ready. Ken's about to talk about dusting techniques.
No, I'm not. We're not going to do that. But
No,
we
but
are,
look at all the cool stuff we've already talked about. I mean, Neal's
Agreed.
here. We're all hanging out. Your dad's here.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm
This
glad
is
to be
great.
here.
I mean, you are just yes, top chef, man. My favorite chef.
No.
America's next favorite chef.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Vote
No,
for me.
possibly. What's this possibility?
Well, I mean, that-
you positive or nothing?
I'm positive.
Yes. Rock and roll. You can buy votes too.
That's right.
I love these guys. They're all, what does that mean? That's cool or peace or something?
Yeah.
All right.
Rock and roll.
The kids.
What do you want to do next?
The kids.
'Cause I think we've
things
covered
they
everything.
say for shizzle.
Okay. I know, right?
I think we've covered everything
On the
I mean,
table.
everything
Yeah.
on the
Buildings are
table.
cool. Neal,
Uh,
where do they go to buy this stuff, Neal?
They go to eastcoastcircuits.com, and for some of the items like the Pennsylvania Railroad signals and the postal vehicles, you can always email us at eastcoastcircuits@gmail.com.
And you said you're going to be at a
We're going
couple
to be
shows.
at Train Fest this coming November. And of course, we always do the Amherst Model Railway Show up in West Springfield, Mass. Every January. That's the last week of January. Hopefully, one year you'll get up
Everybody
there.
says
Yeah.
we got
That is such an awesome show. Oh my gosh, I was
Speaking
totally
about
blown
train
away.
shows, I want to get a non-plug in to announce that the Sedalia Rails train show will not be produced again. Last year was our best show we ever had. We had 105 tables in a small town. Well, really, we got 20,000 people. But we had vendors from Iowa, Nebraska, Arkansas, St. Louis, and we had the best show we ever had. But we outgrew the Park District, and they said you can't do it. They didn't have enough tables.
Right.
Yeah, so we were too good.
Yeah.
But I want to thank all of those who attended, all the vendors who came, and for the plug you gave us, Ken.
It was fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Support your local train shows.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keep them going. We did
I'm
it for
glad you're
14
still alive,
years.
Dad. This is fun to be able to share the hobby with you.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
For
fun.
sure.
And speaking of which,
I'm just saying.
Standing right
No,
there.
I know, but this is great.
I
speaking
guess
of train shows, I was in Hutchinson, Kansas last week at the train show there on the state fairgrounds. I did see the folks from Spring Creek Hobby there. They said they gave a shout out.
Oh, we love them.
Yeah, and it was a neat little show, and I was happy to meet some people there. So, yeah, great to see y'all.
Did you take your dad?
Oh yeah,
Okay, good. Because you
And-
said he was going to do that. Yeah.
yeah, and my daughter as well. So yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
Yes.
So, as you're watching this on YouTube, you need to hit the like button. You need to subscribe. You need to hit
Yes,
the bell.
we're at 16,000 something subscribers
That's
right now.
right.
We're at 3 million views, total views on the show.
Hey, we hit 3 million views, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
3 million
everybody.
views.
That's awesome.
That show that we did a couple weeks ago about the Kalmbach sale announcement.
That was
Craig
superb.
Fuller.
That was
Craig
great.
Fuller.
Great
Yes.
show.
Show.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
show.
That show is our second most popular viewed show of all time with regards to the time period since it came out. So yeah, it's very promising. A lot of good things are happening because a lot of things are happening in the industry. A lot of new things are coming out, like all these flashy, wonderful little lights.
Oh yeah.
And that's what this show is about. To share that, what we learn with all the folks out there, our friends out there that say that they watch What's Neat,
What's neat?
Yeah.
Things like this.
right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Things like this.
Just things like this throttle that we're going to
right.
use to go run some trains that we
Which
were
I
supposed
use
to
on
run
my
some-
layout. I use the NCE layout.
Right.
All right.
I know Jennifer Kirk in England bought it. Biggest clubs use it. I programmed some engines with it last week because it does what I need it to do. But it's always there. It always works. I like it, and that's what we want in this hobby: is something that works. And NCE, the power of DCC, works. So check it out.
And I just want to say that if you're new to the show or haven't seen them all, go back and watch some of our old shows.
Oh, yeah, there's
we
some
have some
good
great
ones.
shows. I love my favorite's the one with Paul Lally.
Paul Lally.
The
Yeah.
director
Oh,
of the
that was
Mr.
fun.
Rogers.
Yeah,
Favorite
that was a
show.
good one.
I mean, there's been so many great people on here, and
You
so
can watch
many
the other
amazing
show that
things.
Neal Multz was on.
Yeah.
You go to what'sneat.com, you type the word Neal Multz in search, and his picture is going to pop up on your screen with a link to
We
that
looked it up
show.
last night. It was show
Yeah.
199.
199.
199.
Show number 50 was the one where Chris Palomero said we have to do something special, show 50. So it was our first hour-long show. We covered a lot of ground. That is the most popular viewed show that we have of all times, and that was around 20-something thousand views.
And think about 300. I'm still trying to get an elephant. I don't know if they'll let us have one or not.
What are you talking about?
For show 300.
An
We're almost
elephant.
there.
Hey, I know a guy who can hook you
277.
up with a 3D scanned elephant
No,
in HO
no.
scope.
I don't need a fake elephant. We need a real elephant.
I like the idea of taking the Zoom recorder, a few microphones, a couple cameras, and let's go somewhere.
Bernard, you're going to need a bigger printer.
Let's go to your house. Oh my God, cameras have never been in Mike's basement. Now, we talked about that on the phone. Are you on the spot? Do you,
Yeah.
Someday, you've got a lot of beautiful South City blocks to show.
Just like one.
Well, okay.
Talking about putting him on the spot.
Welcome to our world.
Yep.
So anyway, a lot of potential, a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know this. We're just having fun
And
tonight,
summer's
guys.
just getting started. So
Best hobby in the world. Some of the best people in it sitting all around me. Simple show by Model Railroaders. Hi.
bye.
Richard's
Yep.
waving at me. All right, guys. We're going to do a thumbnail. We're going to do everything else. But in the meantime, we are going to go run some trains.
Yay!
Okay, that'll be easy. I don't have to edit anything.
Oh, shit. We're going to be here all night editing. Are you kidding me? All right, everybody grab something. Let's do a thumbnail.
Okay, good. You don't have to just
Yeah, just
yeah, just
smile and
wave.
wave.
just make it. Or we could shoot a picture over by that bridge over there if you want to do something really cool.
Whatever.
Ready,
Oh,
set,
yeah.
go. Smile, show teeth. Ready, set, go.
It's acting like we're
Okay.
running trains.
Well, I'll
Oh,
put
they,
in.
they can still hear us, so
I'll create a neat thumbnail because this stuff is neat, right?
okay, yeah.
I didn't move my gloves.
Let's make a whole little scene. Let's have I don't know, something over there, or over there, or at your new spot.
This is pretty cool. Neil, thank you, man.
So before you go, before we stay here.
Oh, this, okay. So somewhere in here, we're going to do another edit.
Oh, wait.
See,
Yeah,
see,
unclip your,
see,
everybody else is falling too.
Yeah.
You were supposed to hold it. Hold on.
I held this.
Get this
Yeah.
off of me.
Yeah, get that off you. Just,
Yeah.
There you
I've
go.
done that before.
Yeah.
all right.
We
I'll put
roll.
this
We
down.
didn't roll credits yet, did we? Or did we?
No.
Did we or did
Maybe.
we? This is one of the most wonderfully non-rehearsed shows ever. It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is the
The very first time we did this, I remember Chris just said smile and told us to sit down and line up and
So
talk
it's-
about your hobbies.
fell.
Talk
It's
about what you
filming.
love.
You need to work on your railroad because the last time I was here, we didn't leave anything for you.
Okay.
But today we are. So you've seen the
That camera's still rolling. You're
Oh,
still
it is?
on.
I'm still on? Okay.
Yeah, and
Oh.
they
Well-
could probably hear you.
Okay, well,
So-
we've got some photographers, both the street and rail fan photographers.
Oh,
place them
very
on the
neat.
railroad.
Oh, the people
cool.
are taking pictures with the
Oh,
flash.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
And then if you remember, you saw all the lighted traffic barrels. We've got some lighted traffic barrels.
Oh,
in
nice.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Put them on the
Cool.
layout, and no construction scene would be without some light towers.
Yeah.
Light towers.
Very
Yep.
cool.
So we're the first kids on the block with it.
Yay.
We need an outdoor nighttime shot.
Okay, I
Oh,
got one
absolutely.
at my house.
So take them home, build something.
Okay,
Make something. Can
I
you
got
do
you.
that? Make it happen?
I got
Can
you.
you shoot video?
Yeah.
Can you do me what's neat?
Yeah.
Okay, now can we close the show and roll credits?
Yay!
Oh man.
Yay!
Have a
45
good one.
seconds, let it roll.
And that's what's neat this
Neil,
week.
thank you very much for coming.
Yes,
thank you
thank
for
you
being
so
on one
much.
of the most
Thank you very
unscripted
much.
shows.
Yep, it's great.
I know, let's barbecue now, right? We can run to the store, we could shoot footage of grilling, we could run trains. You know, we need to make a show like that where we're walking around the room playing, like, so
Okay.
that our viewers feel like they're with us. I've got a letter from a gentleman that can run the trains on this layout from his house. Yeah, that's a whole nother story I need to talk about.
Another show.
Yes, there's a lot of neat stuff going on.
Very cool.
Yeah, are we done?
Dad, thank you.
It's still rolling.
Man, you
Okay.
are on
He can
top
edit it
of
out.
it,
Just
Dad.
cut it
You're
out.
on it. You're
Okay.
on it, Dad.
Now let's close
Did
for
you
the
hear him
fifth time.
shoot me down when I made that old prison
You know
joke?
Yeah.
Before you go, don't get up. You know what the saying is? But wait, there's more.
Uh-oh.
I'm leaving you all these vehicles with
Oh.
the exception of this one.
Wow.
Put them on the layout.
I'll let,
wow.
I'll let the guys fight over
This
it.
is an old United Bread.
But I have to have a mail truck.
Okay.
This one I'm taking with me. And the batteries. You can have everything else.
mail truck and light construction truck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. He'll cut it out.
It's still rolling.
I
We'll
just
probably
wanted to
close
come
for like
see
the
something.
6th time, and
This
then
was
maybe-
the most unrehearsed.
fun. I
We were
enjoyed it.
just
These are incredible.
They're
Just incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
we were just goofing off in front of the cameras tonight.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And everything James said made absolute